Chris.
And I'm Ben.
And today we're going to be talking about the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans.
And Adams' presidency.
The Federalists were a political party in the late 1700s during Adams' presidency that had a strong goal to keep a strong federal government while maintaining an alliance with Britain after America had just declared independence.
The Democratic Republicans, on the other hand, thought totally opposite than the Federalists. They wanted to limit federal power. They also wanted liberty and equal rights for the United States. Another thing they wanted is independence from Britain.
The Alien and Sedition Acts put in place by John Adams during his presidency were two acts that limited the freedom of the people of the United States in order for John Adams to feel more secure as a Federalist in power. One of the acts enabled by John Adams during his presidency was titled the Sedition Act. The Sedition Act was a fear act that was put in place in 1797. It allowed the government to imprison and fine anyone who spoke poorly or conspired against the government. Most situations, it was the editors and newspaper writers that were sentenced for imprisonment because of their writings in the public papers. In the Sedition Act, enacted by the United States, is entitled the Fifth Congress of the United States at the second session. In Section 1 of this act, it says, "Be it enacted by the Senate and House Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled, that if any person shall unlawfully combine or conspire together with intent to oppose any measure or measures of government of the United States, which are or shall be directed by proper authority or to impede the operation of any law of the United States, yada yada yada, shall be punished by a fine not exceeding $5,000 and by imprisonment during a term not less than 6 months nor exceeding 5 years. That's an example of how the government put this law in act that if anyone were to oppose them, conspire against them, they had the right to put them in jail or fine them.
The Alien Act is simple for Federalist rule to have power. It allows the president to be in charge of deporting any suspected aliens in time of war. This act put fear in the eyes of immigrants to not be suspicious or they'll be out of there. In the words of a Federalist, aliens contaminate the purity and simplicity of American character. Basically, this act was an attempt to give John Adams more power in his presidency. This is an actual piece from the act. Be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled, that it shall be lawful for the President of the United States at any time during the continuance of this act to order all such aliens as he shall judge dangerous to the peace and safety of the United States.
Hi. These Alien Sedition Acts really clashed heads with the Federalists and Democratic Republicans. It gave them a cause to clash heads and want to have a better idea of what America was. So after all this had been in place, Thomas Jefferson went into action and started the Revolution of 1800, which put the Democratic Republicans in more power where America should be.
In the election of 1800, John Adams represented the Federalists, and Thomas Jefferson represented the Democratic Republicans. In the election, no one expected Thomas Jefferson to win, but he did. So the majority of people now were Democratic Republicans. He called this the Revolution of 1800.
After the Revolution of 1800, the Democratic Republicans got to express their ideologies when they began their governing powers. Due to this, every July 4th, they celebrated Independence Day a little bit more with excitement and celebration. They did military demonstrations, fireworks, and annually read the Declaration of Independence.
Post-Revolution of 1800, voting became a problem. African Americans couldn't vote, women couldn't vote, and even men who were allowed to vote still didn't. So they didn't feel a need to express themselves enough in their ideologies. Democratic Republicans showed their views in this here paper. It says right here, "First we declare that we the people of the state of New Hampshire are free and independent of the Crown of Great Britain." So they want their independence. That's one of the main views of the Democratic Republicans. This document, similar to the last, exhibits Federalist views. John Adams writes to the king with an immense amount of respect, saying, "I think myself more fortunate than all my fellow citizens. and having the distinguished honor to be the first to stand in your Majesty's royal presence in a diplomatic character. So basically he's saying that he's trying to educate his people in the ways of England.